90 to 95% of the 34 million Americans diagnosed with diabetes are considered are classified as type 2 diabetics, according to the CDC. The Mayo Clinic defines type 2 diabetes as a chronic condition that affects the way a body processes glucose. Glucose is an energy source for your cells in your body, and it's important that your body is able to process it. Today, I'm here to discuss with you one option for diabetics to consider when they are trying to regulate their glucose levels. Yes, there are dozens of medications out there, but they don't always work on their own, and it's important to consider all your options. For me personally, 4 years ago, I chose to go to a low-carb diet. Yes, it was hard, but I have been able to maintain the levels of my glucose level that my doctor recommends for those 4 years. Now I'd like to explain what a low-carb diet entails. A low-carb diet is simply limiting the amount of carbohydrates that you consume and emphasizing the foods that are high in proteins and fats. Carbohydrates are an important part of the diet because they provide fuel for your cells. In fact, 45 to 65% of an average adult's 2,000 calorie food intake per day should be carbohydrates, according to the Mayo Clinic. The problem with this is it's really easy to go over that limit. If you consider all the snacks that we eat, and if you go out to a restaurant, you order meat and potatoes, you order fried food, you order chicken and pasta, and then along comes the side, you get bread, dinner rolls, chips and dip, macaroni and cheese. All that's carbohydrates, and it well exceeds the recommended amount per day. The problem with that for diabetics is that it elevates the blood glucose level for longer periods of time because our bodies just can't process it. It's also higher in calories. It can also be higher in calories for us, have less nutrients, and cause overeating because we're just not getting the nutrition that we need because our body can't process it. So what is the right nutrition? What I'd like to discuss now when it comes to a low-carb diet are the three types of food that are important. The first is bad carbs. These are the carbs that are overprocessed and stripped of nutrients. As you can see, I have a list here. Potatoes, pasta, sweets, alcohol, bread, all the foods that are staple on our diets. I mean, really, who doesn't like some chips or a margarita now and again? I know I do. These are not the good kind of carbs for you because they sit on your stomach and your body just can't process it. It might make you feel tired because it's just sitting there. Then the next topic would be smart carbs. These are carbs that are high in nutrients and rich with high fiber. Fiber can be processed by your body as a diabetic, like an average person that doesn't have it. Some of these foods are hummus, fruits, and sweet potatoes. There's also multigrain breads and crackers that you can buy that will help. The important thing to remember with smart carbs is that it all comes down to the serving size. It's easy to overeat when you're finding a snack. And to tell you the truth, a lot of the diet systems, including Nutrisystem, which I did look into, it recommends that you have a certain amount of serving of these smart carbs each day. The next topic that we'll talk about is replacement foods. These are the foods that you can use to replace all those carbs. Some of them do have the bad carbs, but they're lower in them, so they could be considered a little better for you. You have low-carb breads and tortillas. pitas to replace sandwiches. Zucchini and squash can be used to replace pasta. I personally like zucchini, using a spiralizer, throwing it in a pan with a little olive oil, and it works with just about any pasta sauce. There's almond flour that can replace your white and meat grain flour, so you can still have your pancakes and your biscuits and pizza crust. So, while we've talked a little bit about the food that you can change in your diet, let's talk about the benefits that come along with a low carb diet because of these foods.
Risks.
I went too far. On a low carb diet, you may find yourself having more energy, losing weight. It can reduce your cholesterol and your blood pressure because you're not eating those highly processed foods that are high in sodium and other substances that affect your levels. It also lowers your glucose levels and can reduce those cravings once you get used to it. Like, you have that afternoon snack of chocolate chip cookies because it just gets you through the day. Once you get used to being on a low carb diet, maybe you replace that with a handful of almonds. You get used to it, you're eating less, and it's a benefit. But with any diet, you also have risks. Some of those risks include, especially when you first start out, you might be moody, you're not getting your sugar high. You might have lower concentration because the same reason. You don't get that sugar high that you had from having a sugary cereal for breakfast and having that afternoon chocolate chip cookie. It can also cause kidney damage and clogged arteries because of the high level of proteins that you're eating. And then also, if you completely cut out carbs, you're completely taking out the fiber that you need in your diet for your body to be able to process. So in close, there are always risks to any diet or lifestyle change. Excuse me. There's just as many medications that go along with the lifestyle changes that you may make. Those of us with diabetes need to look at all the options that are available to us so that we can have a healthy lifestyle and help that medicine work for us. So you can consult your doctor, do your research if you decide you want to make that change, and make sure that you do it correctly. Thank you.